What's up, guys? I'm back. I think the stream works now. No idea though if we're all the way there, like with the audio. So hopefully it's like working out. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it goes. Dang, might have to shut that door. All right, cool. Can you guys hear me good? Is everything cool? Like, just trying to make sure here that we're doing this. Don't super chat me yet. The show hasn't started yet. Just want to make sure we have everything here. Are you guys hearing me? Is there too bad of a delay? Do I need to add a delay to kind of get things in sync? And then, yeah, I know, right? Raiders fans, you know what I'm saying? Staying at a hardcore Raiders house. What can I say? Okay. No, this wasn't the first time. We were trying to fix some of the sound issues in the last one, Amanda. I was probably as good as it get. Okay. Audio is good, but you should close the door. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll cook in here, but I'll do that. So, like, no problem. Probably just tell Railgun to, like, turn up the air, you know? Should be fine. So, yeah, like, this ain't my room, so I'm just staying with people right now because, like, I'm traveling. And, so, yeah. And, so I'm experimenting, like, traveling and talking to people about psychology and whatnot, like, everywhere I go. Even though, like, this COVID-19 thing is just kind of like, oh, you know, you don't get any freedom, you don't get any choices, we're just gonna like get in your way and whatnot. But it's like, okay, I get it, you know, it happens. So what I do, I just go out there, you know, wear a mask, you know, pull out my longboard and just start going, you know what I'm saying? Got my 2 microphones, find some rando on the street, you know, with their little mask on. Then I interview them and I like type them right there and I record it and whatnot, you know, and then I could just do it live, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got options. So I'm traveling right now. That's all there is to it. And I'm staying here. So yeah, that's just kind of like getting it. I'm doing a new, yes, I think Cleopatra was an INTJ. Absolutely, I do. So yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be all over the place. Like, so where am I going to be? I'm going to be in Seattle. I'm going to be in Boise. I'm going to be in the Bay Area. Like, I might even be in the Bay Area on Friday, actually. You know, and then,
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What do you need?
That bag right there next to the door.
This one?
Yep.
All right, cool. Let me know if you need anything else.
Thank you.
No problem. That's the guy whose room this actually belongs to, so I'm just trying to be respectful of his stuff, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm going to be like, gosh, where else am I going to be? Planning on going to like Phoenix, and then I was looking at San Antonio, but I might not be going to San Antonio. Definitely going to be in Nashville. Like, I'll be in Nashville first quarter of next year, basically. And then I'm going to be in Miami in December, so just that's where I'm going. I'm traveling around, talking to people about psychology and whatnot. We got our test coming out soon, which is really great. The test is coming as well. So yeah, the guy that was here, that's Jared. He's an ENFP, and yeah. So I am not willing to share those videos with anyone right now. I'm like in the middle of like launching a podcast at the same time. So, Elise, okay, yes, Alexia Demie, but we haven't even tested this out yet. This is gonna work. So anyway, I'll stop wasting your guys' time and let's actually see if you guys can actually hear the YouTube video that I'm gonna play. I sure hope you can, because I have no idea if it's gonna work. So, let's see here. I'm gonna hit play on this YouTube video, and you guys tell me like if it's actually like something you can hear, please. One of our favorite honest trailers, guys, because Screen Junkies is dope.
Though as the medium for grown-ups
turn it up a
comes the
little
best HBO-style drama that can't use the F-word or show any boobs, yet is so good it got TV snobs to finally shut up about The Wire. Breaking Bad.
Alright, did you guys hear that? Like, I want to make sure you guys can like actually hear the video, because if you can't hear the video, then this whole show is like completely in my face. So, yeah. Oh, thank God. All right, well, that's cool, because if that's just how we're gonna roll, like, I don't know. I mean, I might roll like this from now on. I'll just like stream from my freaking car. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is dope. So let's just do this, guys. Let's just do this. All right. I'm gonna check my CPU, make sure it's cool. CPU is not cool. Never mind. I'm gonna whip out my phone to be able to check out the actual super chats in the channel, just so I can like keep track of this. You know what I'm saying? And oh, Jab's messaging me. You know, by the way, guys, like Jab and I are cool these days, so like it's pretty cool. It's nice to talk to him again, and you know, be all friendly and whatnot. So I'm happy. I'm happy AF about that. So we might show his face again in the community. That'd be pretty amazing. So all right, cool. Wow, we haven't done this since like the beginning of May. It's a long time. So Alexia Demie happens to be the first super chat. So I guess we're gonna go check that out. I'm gonna turn off the little super chat close button, and then get the open button in here, and then we can get this show on the road. Let's check this out. All right, Alexia Demie interview. Guys, do not forget like how we do this show. Okay, so here's how the show goes. Okay, I'm gonna get like random interviews and YouTube videos of like a certain person that has to be available, and then I'm gonna like psychoanalyze them with you guys, you know, using the type grid and whatnot. And then when we do all that, I mean, that's dope and shit. You know, we like that. But like the thing is too, let me adjust my camera here just a little bit. I'm gonna do like there we go, cool. But whoever has the top super chat, you know, that's like who gets priority. So if you get outbid for the night, I mean, that's just how it is. If there aren't any super chats, we'll go back in the past and look at past super chats, and then you know, and see if there's any past super chats, whichever ones have the higher dollar value and whatnot. If there aren't any super chats that we've done, once you do a super chat, you get the person typed, I delete it in the channel. Okay, we move on. The channel is inside our Discord. If you're not on our Discord server, what the hell are you doing? Get on our Discord server. It's csjoseph.live/social. You check that out. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. But anyway, like, that's just kind of how the show goes. If you super chat, like, you know, please be aware that I'll start telling people to stop super chatting towards the end of the show. And at that point in time, I mean, like, just stop doing it, because, like, I'm not going to give it back. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, it helps pay to keep the lights on. And I'm traveling a little bit, you know, a little bit healthier. That's cool, you know, and going to be seeing some people. And, yeah, going to be checking out the San Francisco CSJ meetup pretty soon. And I don't know if you guys got other CSJ meetups in other cities and whatnot, but hit me up on Discord or Facebook and whatnot. Tell me what's going on. See if you guys want me to, like, show up or something. Who knows? I mean, we could work something out. If not, who knows? But yeah, I'm going to be doing like a small little cross-country tour and whatnot, going all over the place. So just keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? So let's get this rolling. So okay, so we got Sergey and we got Austin as well. So cool. Yeah. Okay. Test for level of functions. I don't know, Anthrax. I don't know if that is. Can you verify Robert Greene? You want me to do Robert Greene again? Like, seriously? Or Dave Superpowers again? Like, come on. All right, let's go into the interviews here. Let's see here. Let's see who's not going to get all upset. Deleted scene. Best of Alexia. Lily Singh. AfterBuzz. HBO Euphoria premiere. Okay, we'll try that. Let's try this one. Fashion shoot. I don't want to watch a fashion shoot. That's not relevant. Too many people in one place. Hope everyone stays inside. Bye. Okay, no. Let's see here. Euphoria, no. Explains how to do her Euphoria makeup looks. Okay, yeah, we get some teaching. Let's get some teaching by Alexia Demie. Alexia Demie?
Makeup looks are iconic.
Apparently they're not even like
yeah.
correct. Alright, so this thing's having a hard time loading. Not much system resources for some reason. There we go. Go on max volume for you guys so you can hear everything. Alright, let's do this.
What is your advice for young girls just getting into makeup? How can they get to your level? How can they like find themselves within that art?
I think just have fun. Like, I grew up just loving fashion and beauty, and I would pull references my whole life, and especially from film, and I would just want to recreate them and create characters. So I would just say have fun. There's no rules. Don't copy.
Have fun. There's no rules. There's no rules. Alright. Alright, Alexia Demie. First guess is ISFP, but let's see how it goes. Pragmatic, for sure. Talking about other people needing reference points. That's FITE for sure. I want to see what other people are doing. That's SENI for sure, which means you are automatic wayfarer. Just by default. Okay, so we know she's a wayfarer straight up. Just like right off of that sentence. That's pretty dope. Let's keep going. You know, hopefully you guys can steal things. All right, cool. No one's complaining about anything in the stream. Let's just keep going.
Exactly what you see online. Like, just do it, you know, do you.
Of all the looks you've worn, either as yourself or as
you know, do you. You know, do you. Okay, yeah, you know, do you. That is a TE statement and an SE statement combined at the same time. You know, do you. Do you.
What has been your favorite?
I did a look recently that was like fully crystal. It was like a showgirl inspiration moment.
Video,
yeah. I did that.
That was a showgirl inspiration moment. Okay, yeah, that's an FI statement. Sometimes inspiration can be taken as FI as well. She kind of seems informative, so I'm going to go with informative so far. Definitely seems concrete so far, but let's keep going.
With my makeup artist, Raul, and that's probably one of my favorite looks.
Yesterday, Zendaya's.
Yeah, I missed it. I was here.
And what did you think, though? Did you see the lines?
Iconic. Yes, I saw videos. I mean, she always does it big. Like, I didn't expect anything less. So.
She always does it big. I didn't expect anything less. That's she always does it big is an SE stand, an extroverted sensing statement. Talking about expectations in that context is a TE value statement actually. So again, more evidence of wayfariness.
I was sad I wasn't there.
Oh, you were there in spirit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be wearing. I'm gonna support.
Yeah, I'm wearing swimsuit. Yeah, I'm gonna support. Okay, yeah. Are you like worried about your extroverted feeling there? Is that evidence you're
Nice to meet you. Okay, first off, this outfit, honey, the full thing, like giving us like.
Yeah. Okay. For a second there, this thing's gotta like not be so slow. Hold on. And okay. Paris Hilton, really? Okay, you guys think she's ESFP, huh? Okay.
Annie Santos from Degrassi. Tell us about your character.
Oh my god, I didn't think of that.
Yes.
An homage.
Oh, I didn't think of that. An homage. Okay, yeah, so that's straight up initiating. She initiated right there. That was an initiation. She did not respond. She initiated a complete new point and interrupted the person interviewing her. That was cool.
Yes, I didn't think of that. Yeah, go ahead. My character? Mm-hmm. What was the question?
See, she like interrupted and be like, oh, my character? Oh, what was the question? You know what I'm saying? So again, extroverted sensing right there. And she initiated again just to kind of figure out what's going on. She brought the conversation back under her control. So it's more initiating, seems informative. So that would be informed initiating movement, pragmatic concrete, which would put her as an ESFP just by default. ESFP. Let me get my little notepad file out, and then that way I got this on file in here. Alexia Demie, ESFP. And show clock is 14:22. Dope. All right. So yeah, she's an ESFP, but you know, I just want to make sure that since it was a pretty high amount on that super chat, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to verify it with another video just to double check, okay? So let's do that another one. Let's do one more video. Okay, so I don't want no Demi Lovato. Not interested. Let's see here. Interviewed at Brigsby Bear Gala. Okay, here's another one.
Hey everyone, going to K4 Red Carpet Report at the LA Film Festival.
No, stop talking. No, I don't want to talk to you or hear you. May have to move into another room.
Okay, so yeah, so tell us a little about your character in the
Oh, they're all like, tell us about you.
film.
Well, Meredith, she's the lead character, Kyle's character's sister's best friend, and she's kind of like just a wild child, kind of just, you know, she's more free-spirited, and she has a very special moment with Kyle's character in the movie. So, have you seen it?
No.
Okay, well,
they didn't want to see it.
Have you seen it? That's expert sensing again. You know, I mean, go straight up Wayfair. I'm trying to double check, like, you know, between ISFP, ESFP.
I won't say anything. But yeah, she has a very special moment with Kyle, and she's part of the crew. It's a crew, you know, a small crew of young kids that go on this adventure with Kyle, and she's part of that. And yeah.
What do you think was one of the biggest challenges for you?
My moment with Kyle.
Your moment with Kyle?
My hot moment with Kyle. Just because this is my first feature film, and that was the first scene we jumped into, and it was the most, you know, intense scene. So, yeah, I don't know. These people in the beginning, you know, were like on set. It's our first scene, and I have to like go into that. So that's really it. There was not really but there were not many challenges.
Yeah, that's not many challenges. She initiated another point there. She's still very informing, very progression. She's not outcome focused, pragmatic AF. So yeah, she's definitely an ESFP. So we could definitely move on from that one right away. So awesome. We'll check what the next super chat is according to this. Okay. So Alexia Demie is done. I'm going to delete it. Awesome. Next up, we got 36 for Misha Mansour. Haven't we done Misha Mansour? I think we did, but I'll double check. You really want us to do Bret Weinstein? Really? Really, Lucas? Okay. I mean, if you want to. Okay. Sure, I guess. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to minimize this to kind of give myself some more CPU. You know what I'm saying? Need some minimizations here. Okay, so next on, hold on, let me make sure my screen doesn't lock on me. Okay, cool. So we're going to be doing Misha Mansour next. Adding Andrew Scott. Oh, wait a minute. Andrew Scott coming in at $40. Dope. Let's do that. I hope I'm getting the correct Andrew Scott because I'm sure there's a million Andrew Scotts out there, Basic Betty. So, like, help me make sure I'm doing, like, the right one. You know what I mean? So I hope there's, let's figure this. Full Q&A, Andrew Scott. Is this the Andrew Scott? Is this the right one? Andrew Scott, Late Show, Fleabag's Nielsen, Andrew Scott on Becoming the Sexy Priest. I think this has got to be the right guy because it's at the top of like the YouTube. So,
Andrew Scott joins us now. There's so much to talk about, Andrew. I don't even know where to begin. But we will start with Steel Country.
Yeah.
New movie. It's out on April. Us a bit about the story, obviously without giving too much away, but it's a very dark, complicated story.
Yeah, I was really attracted to it because it's a very different character. He's a very vulnerable guy. It's set in mid-America. It's quite a bleak place, and I suppose the essence of it is that he's sort of what you would call, he's not neurotypical. So it's a really fascinating character, quite a different one for me. We bought all our clothes for $5.
He just repeated himself twice with the same sentence. I know they had a little video edited in there as well. but it still was technically a little repetitious given what's going on. Let's move here. All right, so let's do some Andrew Scottness, give him some red ink because all the ladies love him. Andrew Scott, and let's double check here. All right, you guys still talking about Andrew Scott? Okay, cool. And then let's make sure. Okay, get that there, and then get this here. Awesome. So my only things up are these two windows. Great. And okay, cool. So I'm gonna put a point down for initiating so far, and then we'll continue.
$5 in mid-America. We shot it in Georgia. It was a
In Middle America, we shot it in Georgia. That's X-ray sensing.
bleak
right
time.
there.
It really helped with the character. He was a bin man.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
very glamorous.
Well, like you say, it is.
It's a femme man. It's very glamorous. Those are two TE labels back to back, FITE statements. This guy sounds like another
interesting
Wayfarer.
watch, and it is so great to see you in these different roles. And I think it's almost like you make a conscious decision to have an eclectic mix of characters in your life.
Yeah.
Gosh, she's got that crazy Australian ESFP smile. You guys know what I'm talking about? You know, like that Australian ESFP smile. Oh man, reminds me of my friend Brody Lee.
Is that something
That's
that you
absolutely
really
true,
think
yeah.
about?
I think around the time when we were filming it, I think maybe Spectre or something had just come out, the James Bond film, and I started acting when I was a kid, and I've always just enjoyed the sort of playfulness of it, to play as many different things as possible. So this is definitely very different. I wanted to get away from villains, so with this and Fleabag.
Oh, I wanted to get away from villains because, you know, that's what I want. And I want to be a good person because I want people to think highly of me and think good of me because I'm an FI user, because I'm a Wayfarer.
And all the theatre stuff. So try to
mix it up a bit. Yeah, I don't blame you at all. Well, Fleabag.
It's been amazing. It's been absolutely incredible. Yeah. Really, I don't think we I knew it was going to be. It was a beautiful script and everything, but the effect that it's had on people is amazing.
I bet, because it is.
The effect that it's had on people is amazing. He hasn't actually said a true fact the entire time. He's just saying how he feels. He initiated that point. He informed again. My goodness. Hasn't done any what if yet, so a little bit of concrete, but let's just keep going a little bit more.
People are talking about,
isn't
it? Like strangers coming up to you talking about Fleabag. But you actually knew Phoebe, who of course starred and wrote Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who wrote the thing.
Yes.
You knew her years ago. You actually were in a play together.
Yeah, we did a play about
ago.
10 years ago, and so.
Oh, we did a play about 10 years ago. Another initiation. The guy's initiating F. This is like a serious extrovert.
We spoke last. We had this amazing meeting last summer. The reason that they respond to them so well is because they're messed up, and we all look for love sometimes in the wrong places. But that doesn't mean that those people don't have huge effects on our lives. So we wanted to convey love in a sort of new way. And just because it's funny doesn't mean that there isn't a.
Ooh, we wanted to convey love in a new way. Interesting. And he had another previous abstract statement for that. Gosh, dang. Whew. All right, so, there's a chance, guys, I'll be honest with you, I'm sitting right here between a little bit ENFP, a little bit ESFP. To be honest, we're going to have to verify against philosopher just in case, so just being honest with you guys. So we'll check that out. Okay. All internet connection. Okay. Are you guys saying I'm dropping frames right now? Nope, it says 0 drop frames. So, alright, cool. Alright.
That heartbreaking.
Complete
sad
tragedy, actually, in parts of it, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And she did write it specifically for you. You.
Heartbreaking and sad. That was an affiliative statement. That's cool. I didn't see much pragmatic with this guy. Seems pretty affiliative so far.
That she wanted to play this role.
I think so. Yeah.
So again, that's a lovely compliment,
that's a lovely
isn't
thing.
it?
Oh yeah, it's lovely. No, so I'm so great. I absolutely adore.
Well, it's a lovely thing, and I adore her. Okay, so that's again a TE statement, FITE statement for sure.
Phoebe, she's incredibly gifted and playful and.
Okay, I'm done with this interview. I'm moving on to a different interview. Need more information. Let's skip ahead.
An audition at the Abbey Theatre in Dublin, which is our national theatre, and so I got there and I just kind of worked from there. But I just turned 19 when I went to the Abbey Theatre, and so I had a great start. You know, it's kind of extraordinary to me that I got all those opportunities. You know, when I was still a teenager. And it actually meant that I didn't have a sort of I've never had a. I think sometimes in drama schools, I don't know if anybody is interested or has gone to drama schools here, but the thing that I
don't know if there's anyone's interested in drama schools. He keeps going back and forth. Like he seems to be pretty shadow focused, and he's cognitive transitioning pretty well. His cognitive gateways are pretty well open between like his neural pathways and whatnot. So I need to verify whether or not this guy's an introverted sensor or an extroverted sensor, really, just to be sure. Because like again, ENFP or ESFP. I mean, this guy is like straight up a starter type. We know he's a starter. We know he's FITE. We just don't know which one. So we got to look at this temperament now. So we just say, okay, yo, what's your temperament? And then also a different quadra as well. So is this guy a philosopher? Is this guy a wayfarer? Is this guy pragmatic? Is this guy affiliative? You know what I'm saying? Is this guy concrete? Is this guy abstract? So let's just keep going. You know?
I'm glad that I didn't have to take on board, I suppose, as sort of a pack mentality, because I think what can happen, what the wonderful thing about being in the
he just keeps interrupting himself over and over and over. It's just so informative, initiating movement. Definitely a starter type, like hands down, he is the starter. One of the 4 starter types, and we know for a fact he is that. So again, this is why he's just an ENFP or ESFP, one of the two, you know. So well, let's get some more information. We need some of this filled out in here to kind of understand where he's really coming from.
The theatre industry or the film industry is that you can do with each project it is a completely different atmosphere. So if you're doing a play that's about cats, you have to hang out with loads of cats.
If you're gonna be with a lot of cats, you have to, you know, hang out with a lot of cats. It kind of be that I could argue extroverted sensing mirroring for that, but I could also argue expert intuition mimicry as well.
You know,
so.
Or else if there's a play that's about, it's a working class play, or it's about different races or different sexualities or different male and female, so that each thing, that there's no sort of socio-economic group that you hang out with. And sometimes what can happen, I think,
there's no socio-economic group that you hang out with, talking about all the different social orders, what's happening. That's a very affiliative point of view.
Even in college, when we're at university or in drama schools, that you have a sort of false environment where everybody is 19 and sometimes it can feel competitive, and that you're competing against these other people that to my mind, I think competition in the industry I'm in, I mean, it's a very competitive industry, but it's sort of disallowed me from being competitive, because I think that's really one of the most difficult things about going into such an insecure profession, which is that you have to kind of forage for work, and people are like, why is that person doing that, and why is doing, you know.
Kind of have to forage for work. That's also extroverted sensing. Again, he keeps using SE statements over and over and over again. He might be going into his ISFJ shadow to pull out that affiliative. So, let's see.
You know, comparing yourself to.
All right. So it's connected, so should be working now. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully it stays that way. All right, can you hear me? Should be back. Sorry about that. The modem was unplugged, and that's not the best thing in the world. So, hey, yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. Anyway, let's continue on with our work, shall we? cool. That modem takes a long time to recycle. I just don't know what happened, so whatever. But cool. R. Kelly, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue. R. Kelly. Unhinged, an interview with Gayle King. Wow, I want to see Unhinged R. Kelly. Oh, that's CBS. CBS doesn't like me very much. Let's see. Breaks the silence on sex abuse claims. R. Kelly interview. Best moments. R. Kelly. Okay, gosh. Let's see. R. Kelly post-live interview. Gosh, he's definitely going to be putting on a show. I could see why someone asked me to do this. Wow. Live-in girlfriend calling him a monster. The raw and uncut interview from 1998. Let's try that. Let me know if you guys can hear it still.
I'd love to know your very first childhood memory musically. What's your very first musical childhood memory?
Musical what?
Childhood memory.
Oh, musical childhood memory. I can remember slowing up the record to get, oh, I bet you if someone approached you yesterday to tell you that you would be jamming, you would not believe it because you never thought that you would be jamming. That's by Stevie Wonder. I remember slowing that up just to get that because I couldn't understand what he was saying. And I was so interested to hear what he was saying so I could learn it. And that was like one of the hardest things.
Kind of seems like an introverted sensor. Go point for introverted sensing on that one. Talk about his past. Kind of like introverted sensing recall. Could be extroverted sensor. Kind of seems like an FI user though. So, but we'll keep going.
I heard Stevie Wonder do, so I wanted to get that. So I remember that I was about, I guess, 12, 13.
That's very funny you said that. I did the same thing.
Yeah. Did you get it?
I did exactly. I didn't get every single word, but I did exactly the same. Yeah, it was brilliant. A genius.
Oh, did you guys not even see Andrew Scott? Was I completely offline before I even realized that it was still going? Okay. You guys didn't even see Andrew Scott at all? Andrew Scott came out a ESFP, so I can redo Andrew Scott if necessary. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. This is what happens when I experiment and trial and error on like literally everything, so yeah. Okay. Oh. Yep. Pop. Alright. Yeah, I didn't see you finish him. Alright, it's all good. I'll finish him right now. We got this. Alright, Andrew Scott. It's really embarrassing. Alright, cool. So the last video I finished him with was this one, full Q&A. Start off right where I left off.
Profession, which is that you have to kind of forage for work, and people are like, why is that person doing that and why is doing, you know...
You have to forage for work. Why is that person doing that one thing? That's a sign of extroverted sensing, saying it twice. He's reliving his memories through like the eyes of other people at the same time, etc. So that's what's going down in that situation. And I have no idea why it's not loading through. I think all my add-ons on Chrome is being a problem here. So I'm going to do a new Cognito window. Do it over there. Get all my add-ons out. And then we're going to do awesome. Alright, cool. Still has it. Alright, Andrew Scott. Andrew Scott. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. There we go. Full Q&A at Oxford. So I have a lot less add-ons attached to this Chrome instance. Should be better.
I was going to say was there's a really disgusting, I think, attitude towards fandoms and
really disgusting
what it means to be a fan of like a television show, like if you're into Game of Thrones or Sherlock or whatever the hell you're into. And I think there's a whiff of bullying about it in the media. And I'm always asked by journalists, have you ever had any freaky experiences with fans? And of course I have, but of course. But in sport, grown men go and dress up in their team's colours and get incredibly emotional and invested in it, and they talk about it and they're passionate about it, and no one bats an eyelid. And then, but if you apply the same thing to people who are fond of TV shows, I find it kind of something a bit gross, and just because it's not a sort of it's not the people who run the world who tend to become devoted to that or do cosplay.
What? The dog got back in there?
Hey, Beauty. Hey, Beauty. I'm live streaming. Hey, guys. Apparently, Railgun didn't care very much on that one. I'm gonna have to move if it's this loud. Holy smokes. They weren't supposed to be here this soon. I'm sorry, guys. This whole night's just an absolute crazy show. Oh, gosh. Hold on. And now everyone's up and talking. So let's see here. I'm going to move outside. Give me a second here. Give me a second. I think the whole night's just chaotic. Now they're yelling at each other. Alright, this way, please.
Play or whatever it is that people do, they're sort of in the line of fire.
Yeah. Do you remember what it felt like to when you were first cast for the show?
Shut the door behind me.
Yeah, I do. I didn't really forecast the success of the show. I knew it would be successful because Sherlock is a very famous brand, and it was really, really well written.
Honestly.
But everybody was terrified that people wouldn't really take to the idea of Sherlock being setting it in a modern day setting. And then when we did the Victorian episode, people were really upset that it messed with the format of Sherlock Holmes. You think it's a sign of success in a way. But I kind of did it. I had this little small part at the end.
My dog's visiting me now, so awesome. I know, right? Show you guys around. My dog wants to say hi. That's what he's doing. No, sit. Sit. Hey, buddy. He's got a lot of fleas right now, so he's really struggling. You guys want to see him real quick? I'll show you my dog. There he is. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi to all the people. Okay, you're not really good at saying hi, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. So you're like, show dog now. I know, right? Hands down your favorite touch. Yeah. It's just my life right now. I mean, if you could only see what's behind the computer, there's a barbecue, a broom, and there goes the dog. And there's a random towel. It's good times. It's really good times. So yeah, okay, cool. Let's keep going. Please, God Almighty. Oh man. Yeah, I'm just gonna erase R. Kelly entirely. Kind of glad we did that interview with this guy Andrew Scott. Do it again. All right, we'll do Andrew Scott. Awesome. And then Let's make sure like that's actually showing up properly. No, it's not. Hold on. And that two. Awesome. Okay, cool. And then cut that one down, and that one, and that one. Okay.
No one knew you were alive, but if you go back to the living room, it'll be quiet.
You sure?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Okay.
we didn't know. She was
That's
talking
fine.
because her dad's hard of hearing, so she didn't talk very loud.
That's okay.
Okay, we're gonna be quiet
Okay. Well, cool. Can I get my power supply? Because this thing's gonna die.
now. Yeah.
Everyone is very amused about all this, so
Where is it?
it's in your room.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, beauty. Okay, I'll come back inside. Great. I get to go back inside now. Jeez, guys. I just want to do my show. Oh my gosh. All right, well, you guys get to go on a little ride with me, as I grab my laptop and behave like a hooligan on the internet. And then I'll get back to like what I'm supposed to do here. Oh my goodness. But hey, at least I know my new non-Yeti audio system works, right? So, what's funny about this? What's really funny about this is that, like, even though I'm holding all this stuff, she shut the door. That's what's actually funny about this, trust me. Now I have to, like, figure out how I'm going to open the door without, like, crashing myself everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So, yep. Life of C.S. Joseph in California right now, It's good times. Very good times. Oh, wow. So you got my power supply. Thank God. That's nice.
Okay, do you want a salmon for dinner?
I don't want to eat anything, honestly. I'm full. Like, I want food. Keto diet. I don't want any food. Thank you, beauty. Cool. Alright. So, I'm going to get that out of the way. Get this out of the way. All my little bars. Oh, you got me a keto snack? Well, that's fantastic. And I have electricity now, so now I don't have to deal with the fact that my laptop may just spontaneously explode. Well, not explode. Maybe it would, but yeah, water would be nice. Thank you, beauty. So, all right. And now we can get back to the show. I hope. Gosh, I hope there's enough room for the mouse. Yeah, there is. Awesome. There's enough room for. Dang. Everything's like all tiny. SE Demon, LOL. If there isn't any memes about this stream afterwards, like, guys, I'm gonna be so disappointed. So make sure you get like some really good memes for this. I'm sure it'll be very memorable for the community.
We got like 10 people in the background screaming in Russian.
Yeah.
How's there not going to be memes for this?
I know, right? Okay, you don't need to demonstrate for us, SE Hero. Like, come on. Okay, are you guys all laughing at me right now? Oh my gosh. It's a funny, fun stream. Okay, cool. I don't even know if I am streaming at all, like, actually. Okay, cool. And no drop frames, but CPU is like terrible, so okay. I'll fix that. Let's get that there. Let's get that there. Let's get our CPU down. Okay. And we got that. And we got that. All right. Back to Andrew Scott. Again, holy crap, guys. Back to Andrew Scott. All right. So here we go.
Series 1, and I was terrified. For some stupid reason, I hadn't seen it. I watched it with the 11 million people who were watching Sherlock at the time. And there were articles in the paper about who was going to be Moriarty, and I was just like terrified. I really.
What?
These are my favorites since I was a little kid.
Okay. No interruptions, please. She found herself some good food. Now I don't know if I'm getting jealous of her. Probably not, but yeah. So like guys, like this guy, like Andrew Scott, like I'm getting pretty confused because all of a sudden, like he's like completely calling him transition. He's coming off like an ISFJ now. This is really interesting. So let's just.
It was. I was like, oh my god, it's me, and I and I hadn't even seen my performance. I didn't know what. So when in that swimming pool scene, when I was like, what's this going to be like? And I hated it. You know, I saw it and I thought, oh, the way any performance, I tend not to kind of look at stuff that I'm in anymore. I find it very hard.
Oh, he's getting really uncomfortable about stuff he's never been before. That's introverted sensing. He made an extroverted sensing earlier, but he made another introverted sensing statement there as well. So let's see. He came off like an ESFP earlier, but he might be cognitive transitioning. So, and I think he's more in his element in this interview. So
it's kind of like when you listen to yourself on someone else's answering machine or something, you think, oh, I don't sound like that.
Okay, he's talking about like when you're listening to yourself on someone else's answering machine. Ugh, I don't sound like that. That can be. Seriously, stop doing that. Apparently, this dessert is so epic. Okay. Apparently, the dog's going on a walk with Railgun right now, so. The dog's having like a really hard time right now, guys, because he's got like fleas all over him, and he's had this horrible flea bath, and he's got like bites everywhere. He's been like so red, like every inch of him is red, and I kind of feel bad for my dog. So he's being treated for it, but it just sucks. He's having to suffer so much. He was like whining in the middle of the night. He couldn't handle it because of the pain caused by the bugs. So it just sucks. So, all right, awesome. Yeah, peek into my life. Yeah, you should do more live chat Q&As. I do live chat Q&As. I just do them for members. I don't like do them necessarily for the thing. So anyway. Okay. All right. Let's continue.
Except you have the way you look too, and then so then it came out and it was huge, and it was quite divisive. I think people kind of wanted it to be something else that it wasn't, and
it was quite divisive. I think people wanted it to come out some other way. That's an expert intuition, expert sensing statement. It's also a TI statement as well. Still very informative. He hasn't really initiated much in this conversation. Very responding. If you remember before, he initiated 3 times from the previous interview that we looked at. So he came off as an ESFP in that one. So let's keep going.
Some people just didn't go for it, and some people adored it. And I was quite pleased with that. I always think if you're going to do something worthwhile artistically, you should put your autograph on it. Do what you want to do. And so much of our drama and art now, I think, is a little bit derivative, and I think you've got to do something and not be to be respectful, but not too reverent, and then you can put your own stamp on it. So I was glad that it was divisive in a way, although I was.
Yeah, I'm glad it was divisive in a way. Okay, and then he's gonna although himself.
It was my first experience with online opinion, which now I just avoid, because it was genuinely upsetting, because people hide behind.
Oh, he's having to deal with online opinion, and then he starts to feel guilty about his performance. Interesting.
Usernames and stuff like that, and they can say whatever the hell they want, and they go right to the heart of stuff that you can be really, really vulnerable about. And I rang Mark Gatiss, the producer and writer of it, and I said, if you want to let me go, I totally understand. And he was like, oh, I should have told you, don't go on the internet, and because people are so full of opinion. And so now
people are so of opinion. I've never had this experience before. That also comes off like an introverted sensing statement, and also a bit affiliative. This guy sounds super affiliative. He's not really so pragmatic at all, given his social awareness. So just keep that in mind for him. This guy is a psychopath? Really? Why is he a psychopath? Okay, actor profile. Bring the dog. Come on, guys. Oh my goodness. Why is there always something going on in your life? Because there always is something going on in life. Come on, it's everyone. Hope the dog feels better. Yeah. Yeah, he did come off super extroverted. It's probably a situation. He's like cognitive transition and whatnot. So, do you need something?
No, the room.
Oh, say again?
How come you left the room downstairs? What happened?
Because the internet came off, and I'm having to babysit the modem right now because I came home and added a device to the thing, crashed everything. That's why. Good time.
You only put my mobile hotspot.
No, that's not gonna do any good. We need like no devices right now, so I can finish the show.
Sorry.
And tell everyone to be quiet, please. And thank you.
I'm just well used to it. I mean, people would say whatever the hell they want to me now, and I'm like, yeah, heard it before, you know. Sorry. So it's in a way it toughens you up.
Yeah. How did you find dealing with it to begin with? How did you cope?
So in a way it toughens you up. That's a typical introverted sensing statement as well. Talk about his own experience, but say in a you form. So extrovert sensing. This guy's like super balanced, and as a result of that, it's pretty good. It's pretty difficult to type. Plus, the endless distractions keep getting in the way. So. He plays Moriarty. That's pretty cool. I like the whole Moriarty thing. I think Moriarty is more of a Crusader character for sure. A lot of people think it's like INTJ-ish. I like having like a Crusader approach to Moriarty or Sherlock Holmes, quite honestly. So let's use a different interview. So. Conversations with Andrew Scott. There we go.
Hi everyone, my name's Leslie O'Toole. I'm a contributor to Backstage and Los Angeles Times, and I'm delighted to introduce our guest, who, as you can probably imagine, is one of the hottest things in the UK right now.
Last summer, and we ended up meeting in Soho, where we'd done the play. We did this sort of fringe play in this in the Soho Theatre in Soho in London, and then we had this extraordinary 3-hour
stroll around Soho.
And I actually took her to a venue that appears in the one of the forthcoming episodes of the show, and we spoke for about 3 hours and about love and loss and religion. We talked an awful lot about religion and.
We talked about this, we talked about that, it's extrovert sensing. So this interview is like really close to his first interview. So I wonder if this is actually his real element and maybe he was just super uncomfortable with so many people. But I mean, if you really are an ESFP, you would do that. It's kind of interesting sometimes when you're looking at like introverts or extroverts. An introvert in a one-on-one situation can definitely behave like an extrovert. And then, but if you do the opposite of that, where you have an extrovert in a one-on-one situation, they can behave like an introvert. And then you also have to, look at extrovert intuition mimicry versus extrovert sensing mirroring. And the mirroring is especially worse if it's like SEFE from like a Templar standpoint. So it's kind of like, okay, wow, like what are we actually dealing with here? So this guy just requires additional verification. Pretty good actor, quite frankly.
I'm trying to create a character that we haven't really seen on television before. I think a lot of the time Catholics are conveyed, as the human side of them aren't really seen. So and we talked about love and how it had the.
All right, so it's definitely informative. Keeps going on, informative, and seems pretty progression in this interview. And then he hasn't initiated yet in this one as well. So
the surprising way it manifests itself.
And had you agreed at the end of the 3 hours that you were going to do it?
Yes,
Because you hadn't
absolutely.
seen anything yet.
No, I hadn't seen any scripts, and at the very end of it, I said, "Yeah, I'll definitely do this." And then I rang my agent, told her. But yeah.
Huh? I'm fine here. As long as I don't move, I'm cool. Oh, they are? Okay. I gotta move again, guys. Yet again. Oh my goodness. This is what though? 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th time I've moved. Great. So much easier when I do this in my own house, you know what I'm saying? Alright. Here we go again. Yippee skippy. Can't focus to sleep and laugh. Alright, where do you want me? Anywhere. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna go to the most convenient place. The floor. Now I'm in a room on the floor. No one can bother me. This is my hope. At least I got my little stylus pen. So, and then just some crisscross applesauce. Okay. You know, as you guys can see, I'm extremely happy. You know, are you guys going to start taking some bets on how many more times I have to move? I wonder. So many bad ideas. Alright. Like doing a stream tonight. That seems to have been a bad idea on my part. So, my bad, guys, for just making everything so lame. Drawn out. So. I'm 5'11". Alright.
So it was great. It was. I just knew there's something about Phoebe's energy. I think the most extraordinary thing about her.
I just knew something about Phoebe's energy. There's just something extraordinary about her. Okay, that was an FETI statement, and that was an SINE statement, talking about his experience.
Is that she's able to two things are able to exist at once. You know, great comedy and great tragedy. The series develops in the most extraordinary way. I mean, that isn't public relations. Me saying that is genuinely such beauty.
It's developing in the most extraordinary way. It's genuinely beautiful. It's also extra feeling, and said it like twice. So he's got a lot of FI in there. So seems to be ESFP focused if he's an ISFJ. So, but guys, I mean, have you guys not been paying attention to like how this guy dresses? Like over the last few interviews so far, he's always in dark colors. He's not really anything super bright, you know, which is typical of a Crusader type. He also made a statement earlier about like being like things unfair. So it's hard to tell between whether or not this guy is a starter type or if he is a background type. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. And then let's look a little bit more in terms of abstract, concrete, and whatnot. So let's keep going.
Beautiful television, and it's really had this enormous impact back in London. And I think it's because she's able to be playful And you know, a lot of actors will really appreciate the idea that, like, a lot of the time when you're on set, the main job seems to be to complete the call sheet, just to get it done, and and actually what she's able to do so brilliantly is to be playful on the day, so that you feel like she comes up with ideas, so many things that are still in the show, or things that we created on the day, not so much plots and everything, but these extraordinary ideas, and the idea that we're in charge when they say action till they say cut. That's your time, and rather than just feeling this enormous pressure from completing the.
It sounds like she's a very generous actor when she could be.
So he's talking about the enormous pressure that that he ends up having, and he ends up sharing that pressure with others. So it's like if he is an ISFJ, his ESFP side pretty well developed. Expert at sensing nemesis is like pretty serious, so that's pretty cool, and being able to see how well developed that is. Like, for example, like Railgun, her introverted sensing nemesis, because the nemesis function can like completely get in the way of, like, it can completely derail somebody. Like, my anti-nemesis derails me all the time as I get worried about what I'm going to do, or what do I want, or I don't know, etc. And that can like be like a serious thing, getting in the way of life as we know it. You know what I mean? So that's just like something that a lot of people just, they don't understand. It's because, like, hey, you get so worried, and then your hero gets in the way, and or your nemesis getting in the way of your hero, basically, and it can lead to personal confusion. And it's like, I'm introverted sensing inferior, right? But then my wife should be like, oh, I'm introverted sensing nemesis, but I need to be comfortable too. And then, like, her nemesis sometimes competes with the inferior, right? And just like this guy, like, his nemesis is being worried. He's worrying right now about, like, the production that he's in, because he's an actor, and he's talking about the call sheet and he's talking about the system that he has to follow consistently. And he is definitely systematic, because he's talking about the system, right? So affiliative systematic, which means this guy is definitely an SJ for sure. It's very systematic. I haven't really talked to him, or I haven't really heard him say anything this entire evening about, like, weighing things out in terms of, okay, this is what I'm getting out of this situation, this is what we're getting out. No, he's always constantly talking about following a process, okay? And following the process is a systematic thing. And that's something that he's been consistent on this entire time, is being systematic, okay? So that's pretty cool. Definitely systematic. I haven't really heard much abstraction, so it's mostly concrete. I mean, we could verify against that, but I think I'm pretty set on him actually being an ISFJ, which would cause me to revise my previous assertion that he was an ESFP. He definitely was an ESFP in that side of the mind, but I think this guy's actually an ISFJ, quite frankly. So. You guys jive with that, or you guys think I'm nuts? Okay. All right. ENTPs can't sleep. Floor gang. Okay. All right. Well. Can I get some feedback, guys, or am I just really behind in the chat right now? Like, I have no idea. It's all good, Basic Betty. I appreciate your guys' patience, honestly. So yeah. It's like, I was trying so hard, like, not to. It's so hard to keep, like, self-discipline. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Oh, Mr. ER, apparently I'm lacking humility. I mean, you're not wrong. I do. I mean, I do get pretty arrogant sometimes, so, but you're right. Humility is a very good thing, and I do need it. I'll admit it. So, okay. Purple Flower is like ESFJ. You know what? Yeah. you're probably right. I'm probably like not seeing the forest for the trees here. It's because I'm just so flustered with what's going on. So, but yeah, that's a good point. I really do think that you could definitely be an ESFJ. It's just that he just seems so outcome before. But yeah, informed initiating movement starter. So yeah, you're right. Actually, if I actually read my own tick marks actually say that he's more ESFJ. So, and that's fair. Thank you for mentioning that, Purple. I will correct myself. Guys, as much as I type people and whatnot, like, there are times where I just get it wrong. And, you know, and when I'm under, like, so much pressure to, like, do these streams and whatnot, sometimes, I mean, I do make mistakes. Like with Drake, I made a mistake that one time, and that sucked. But it is what it is. I can't help it. All I can do is just verify it. I mean, that's why, like, the next lecture I do on the YouTube channel is going to be the last lecture I do. It's going to be the last one. The last one on the YouTube channel. All of the lectures are actually being moved off into the membership. The lectures that are already on the channel will stay on the channel, though. They'll stay. But the lectures after that, oh, kitty. No, the kitty's here. Hopefully she sits in my lap. She's a really good cat. Kitty. That'll calm me down, the cat. But the point is that all the content that I release after this next lecture is just going to be different. Like, we're migrating all of CSJ Response to this channel. We're going to be using CSJ Response for something else completely, kind of probably more shorthand videos. And we're just we're making tons of changes this July, quite frankly. So there's just so much on my mind with all these things. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, definitely. It's so hard for me to type ESFJs too. They're like the ones I struggle with the most. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you'd have to be an ESFJ. He is a starter type. He's an SFJ. We've proved he's an SJ already. My own tick marks say that for that much. And on top of that, just how he's just talking up everybody around him consistently and over and over and over. Like, yeah, that's Effie Hero. So thank you, Mr. Purple, for informing me of my error. I really appreciate it, good sir. Because I'd rather have an accurate, good show. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, you know. So, and I'll admit I was wrong and kind of rushed because of all the crap that's been happening to me. But I think I'm getting a little bit of peace right now. I can get into my introverted sensing zen, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like my hope with all this. So, yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. So, yeah, ESFJ, guys. ESFJ for this guy. I'm not going to spend much time on it anymore. If you guys really want me to verify him later, I can. I just want to move on to the next one. And honestly, like, based on all the information I already had, with him being mostly a starter type. So yeah, ESFJ. We know he's systematic for sure. We know he's affiliative. We just know that. He's an SJ. So yeah, let's move on. Get my phone out. Look at the next doohickey here. So, awesome. Let's see here. All right, we deleted that. Now we're going to, guess what? R. Kelly. New R. Kelly. Oh, commenter 13, you put Carol Baskin. We already did Carol Baskin. She's an ENFJ, so if you want, you could probably like check somebody else as like a possibility there. All right, cool. So we're gonna do R. Kelly now. R. Kelly. Thank God, we get to move on. All right, so as I do this, well, on the floor. That's what I do. I do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes for the audience, that's what I do. So, awesome. I get to join the ranks of other YouTubers with their interesting live stream antics, you know. Alright, R. Kelly. Let's get out of this. Let's get out of this. Let's get out of this. R. Kelly interview. Cool. Okay, R. Kelly is unhinged in interview with Gayle King. Columnist says, best moments the raw and uncut interview. That's where we were last time. Let's do that. And speaks out amid allegations of child pornography. Dang, that's crazy. All right.
On Kenwood's basketball
Skip
team,
ahead.
which is the name of my high school, and but I happened to have a music class. At that point in time, I wasn't. I think I was about 16, 17. I was not interested in music.
About that time, I thought, I'm 16, 17, whatnot. That's introverted sensing, straight up. It's just straight up introverted sensing, remembering his own personal past, and not through the eyes of other people.
Was really trying to be the next Michael Jordan, of course, and.
I was trying to be the next Michael Jordan, of course. Okay, he's comparing himself to another person, looking at someone else's status that he wants, using the name as their label, which is a TE statement. So this guy sounds like a philosopher.
She told me that I would sing, I would be the next Stevie Wonder or superstar, Michael Jackson or something like that. And I laughed at her like she was crazy. I couldn't see it. And everything I am today, she could see it. My mother could see it. And she would tell me that.
Kitty. Almost got that cat. She comes by, I'll grab her.
I was going to be where I'm at today and even further. So, and it just happened. She put me in a talent show, and I did the talent show, and the girls was.
She put me in a talent show. I did the talent show, and then the girls, so it's two introverted sensing statements. It's another TE statement talking about the status that he got from the
Screaming
situation.
and everything, and I was like, man, I don't get this kind of love on the court, And of course, I'm going to choose that over basketball, and I did, and I've been doing it ever since.
So, what would you say that?
Of course, I'm going to choose that over basketball. I've been doing that ever since. Yeah, because he loves the status that comes there. Let's keep going.
Was your big break, or was there a stage a little further down the line that was the significant break for your music?
I would say my big break is that point in time I learned that Stevie Wonder riff. That was one of the steps, because I felt like, man, if I learned that, I can learn anything, because that guy was going pretty fast. But as far as crowd-wise and what nailed it, I would say my first talent show pretty much is what.
If I could learn that, I could learn anything. Again, that's TE. Pretty cool. It seems really informative.
Bit me in a way, like Peter Parker got bit by the spider and became Spider-Man. That was the bite for me. When the women and everybody was showing me so much love at the talent show, and I won, and I was like, wow, it was overwhelming.
Can you relive that fear and energy that you had the first time you went on stage and had to actually compete to try and win, like a talent competition? Because that must be just for a young guy, really awesome experience.
Well, I had my eyes closed through the whole thing, so I just heard everything. The idea is, she put me in these black glasses and had a friend of mine walk me out on the stage like I was Stevie Wonder.
Have a friend walk me out on stage like I was Stevie Wonder. Again, introverted sensing. So definitely this guy is a philosopher, straight up. We have a philosopher on our hands. So all philosophers just happen to be affiliative, and I haven't seen really any pragmatic statements at all from him whatsoever. So definitely on the affiliative side. But is he interest-based or systematic? Kind of comes off as interest-based, quite honestly. Really comes off as interest-based. He's also staying on topic, so there's a really good chance he's actually responding. But I want to verify that with a different interview.
And she had me sing "Ribbon in the Sky," and as soon as I started,
she had me start singing "Ribbon in the Sky." She had me. This person extroverted sensed me. She extroverted sensed me. She made me do it. You see what I'm saying? He is admitting that he's an introverted sensor from that statement. All right? Does that make sense? So yeah, that's a great example. I'm glad that's actually in here. Great, something another introverted sensing standpoint. So yeah, awesome. Okay. Yeah, a couple of you guys are really behind in the stream. You might want to hit refresh. So, like, we're on R. Kelly right now, so there's like must be a huge delay or something. I don't know. Trying to hang in there, or the chat's behind. I have no idea what's actually happening, guys. So let's figure this out. Let's do R. Kelly Speaks Out.
He's a phenomenon in the music industry. R. Kelly, as famous to his generation as
I believe I can fly. People should worship, but I am not no demon. R. Kelly is not who they think, but it's who I know. You know, I'm not perfect. I'm not some.
Wow, R. Kelly is not who they think, but it's someone who I know. Wow, I've never heard a more philosopher statement in my whole life. Gosh, definitely philosopher. That's crazy. That's awesome. All right, cool. Let's keep going.
Jesus that people should worship, but I am not no demon. I'm no devil. I'm no criminal. Do you consider?
I'm no demon, I'm no devil, I'm no criminal. Okay, all TE statements.
Conflicted at all about these two personas, this incredibly sexual presence on stage, and this desire to be an upright Christian man. That's quite a cavern you're trying to straddle.
Well, being a Christian doesn't necessarily mean you're this upright person. Being a Christian is someone who's repentant.
So being a Christian doesn't mean you're such an upright person. Okay, that's an affiliative statement. So yeah, very affiliative. Okay, and let's see if we get an interest-based statement.
And said, God forgive me.
Sure.
And when you say it today doesn't mean you can't say it tomorrow. And that's why God is who he is.
But that can get to be an easy way out after a while, because all you're saying is, hey, forgive me again.
Well, that's not all you're saying. You're continuing to pray. You're continuing to gain strength. It's like walking into a health club, man, and you like 600 pounds, you know, that you got a long way to go.
Okay, that was an interest-based statement. Talking about what people get out of, you know, making a comparison, and also talking about what the process that people follow, or what they get out of, you know, being a Christian, etc. And how, and then kind of like what he gets out of it, which is he's saying informatively, he's saying forgiveness. He's also staying, you know, on topic consistently, so he's definitely responding. This guy is not progression. So informative, responding, outcome, affiliative, interest-based, which basically would set R. Kelly as an INFP, straight up, which would make sense because he totally sounds like super TE inferior, especially, you know, he's dealing with these allegations of child pornography in this interview. But let's watch a little bit more.
Kelly's mix of gospel and bordello has deep roots in rhythm and blues, but he's given it his own urban spin.
I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I kind of really want to. You know, as he sings, my mind's telling me no.
And so I accepted that. But those are the things that my mother and I would share.
When Kelly was a young boy, he loved basketball and music. And by the time he was 8, he and his mom were singing songs for loose change.
Mom would have me studying Stevie Wonder, you know, a riff.
Wait a minute, you put the nickel on the needle to slow down the record.
So the runs could go really slow, and then you can learn them. And then you learn them and you get it down pat.
With his mom's help,
slowing it down, and then you can learn them. He's talking about his introverted sensing experience, basically, as a result.
He used that old nickel trick to learn.
All right, there's nothing, there's no reason to go look at that anymore. Definitely so 134.18. All right, cool. 134:18. INFP for R. Kelly. Awesome. All right, moving on from R. Kelly, guys. Let's see here. All right. Where is it? Gotta find the R. Kelly. Let's see. All right, cool. There it is. Delete. Got it. All right. So we got that one done. Who's next? Okay. So 20 added to Michael Jones. Let's go back to Michael Jones. All right. Dave Superpowers. Possibly his partner Shan, if possible, for 30. 36. Misha Mansour. All right, we got Duncan at 40. Okay. Ben Higgins. Okay, Michael Jones. Okay, cool. So the next one is Duncan Trussell. Duncan Trussell on Joe Rogan is the next one. All right, cool. We got this. All right, so going down here. Duncan Trussell. I hope the internet doesn't go down. All right. Duncan Trussell. And then we're going to go to the Joe Rogan Experience on this one. Okay, Joe Rogan Experience. Okay, Duncan Trussell. Joe Rogan. Awesome. Number Duncan Trussell, 1444, 1464.
This
All right.
is Traegering. All of your favorite foods made better.
Yay, ads.
Oh, this smells good.
Sitting at my computer and pressing the button on Amazon where I wanted to buy something. And it's like, this isn't available right now. In that moment of like, what? It's my button that brings me things. And then like suddenly just realizing like, oh my fucking God, how completely weak have I become that I got accustomed to pressing this button and people would bring groceries to my house.
Yeah.
And now they don't. Now it's like stopped. Not only that, I'm so accustomed to like, well, you know, I'll just go to the grocery store and pick up some food. It's always been there.
Wow, that guy is super informative, initiating movement. That's awesome. Okay. Starter type right off the bat. Let's verify it against that.
It's
but
not
so far,
there.
So good.
Dude, I had an Instacart delivery today.
Oh, yeah. He's also like cussing as well. So putting a point down for pragmatic. So he's either an ESFP or an ENTP, just like already. So ESFP/ENTP. And then he's talking about like he just initiated again in the same sentence. Like holy smokes. Okay, cool.
You know, because we wanted to get stocked up on food. Oh, $200 worth of food. Guess what I got? Strawberries, hummus, and I think we got like, I don't know, some like eggs. That's it. Out of the whole order, everything else was sold out. All the beef gone, all the chicken gone. Nothing's there. It's like the shelves are empty. So it's like, okay, send everybody $2,000 a month, but what are they going to buy if there's like no food on the shelves? Like what?
Well, I think that was a temporary freak out where people.
What are they going to buy if there's no food on the shelves? That's pretty cool. I could almost argue that was abstract, but he does seem a little systematic actually. It does seem a little systematic, and definitely a TI user, as near as I could tell. It's looking more and more like an ENTP, quite honestly, for this Duncan Trussell guy. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I'll verify against the ENFP just in case. But yeah, we'll keep going here. We're gonna look at other
people stockpiled stuff, and I think as long as food keeps getting delivered on a normal schedule, I think that'll normal out.
I hope so, man.
Yeah, I do. I think that'll normal out. But it just shows you there's so many things in our society that are amazing, like grocery stores, like cell phones, like we can call each other, all this. But
called a mommy group, so it's like a connection of online of all these mommies and on like all over LA. And what they do is people will post shit they need. So like one of the moms just had a kid, they don't have any wet wipes. And so then all the other moms will be like, oh, we've got wet wipes. And then right now they're just leaving them on the door.
Oh, that's
so people come
nice.
and get them. So it's like, I think the community thing is
Yeah, that was also systematic. Again, he's talking about the process, you know, with people leaving them at the door and, you know, all those mommies, etc.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
But also people have to maybe transcend money for a second and figure out ways to set up in their community.
Figure out ways to set up in their community, talk about people and their struggle, etc. That's an FE statement. It's also another systematic statement. So systematic FE for sure. which basically means he's automatically a crusader. I mean, I could just on the evidence I have right now, I could call him as an ENTP, but I want to see him in a different. So this is 1444. So let's go into 1464. Let's see a completely different one.
It's hilarious that your biggest concern was getting stuff in your beard and me not.
Radio telescopes and stuff that they could maybe look for signals that we can.
Oh my gosh, he's got the same beard as Serge Tankian, who's an ENTP. Like, look at that, guys. Look at that. He's got the same beard. Like, it's like, wow. You know, and he's dressed like an SI user.
Can't find or I don't know what.
How would they? Maybe something they could tune into things that they wouldn't ordinarily have the frequency to reach.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Or be able to tune into that frequency rather. Like, what can they do now?
Tuning into that frequency and with that comment that he just made previously, that was an abstract statement. So let's keep going.
Now, in terms of, I was watching Contact the other night, which is great.
Yeah,
I forgot how good it was. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Jodie Foster can act her fucking ass off, man. She plays.
And one of the reasons it resonates for people like us is because we admire the fact that somehow they managed to go over there and come back and draw what's over there in a way that we saw that, but we, when I came out of it, it's like, well, it's undulating colors and there's some kind of disembodied intention that seems to be expressing itself.
Oh, some disembodied intention that seems to be expressing itself. Okay, that's super abstract, and he's pragmatic for sure. With his independence being like, oh, I'm just going to wear this random like ghillie suit on the show and I'm going to just, cuss my face off and not give an F. You know what I'm saying? Before initiating movement like crazy, like just not even looking at cognitive functions. This guy is straight up an ENTP. Like I don't even have to go further with it, guys. There's no point. There's just no point here. The guy's a freaking ENTP. Calling it at 139.07. ENTP 139.07. Duncan Trussell, ENTP 139.07. Cool. Moving on to the next one. Awesome. Gonna delete this message here. Awesome. And who's next? All right, who's next? Who we got? Okay, so $36 for Misha Mansoir. And then we have added to Michael Jones. Michael Jones, 15, so 35, 36, $37, which means Michael Jones is added. So Michael Jones, okay, like which Michael Jones, guys? I hope I can find the correct one. So y'all gonna help me out, right? Because I don't I'm sure there's a million Michael Jones in the world. So let's see what we got here. Interview with Michael Jones. Is there a lot of famous Michael Jones? My gosh. How many Michael Jones are there? Which Michael Jones do you guys want? Please, God Almighty, tell me. Tell me, which Michael Jones? Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, OMG, which Michael Jones? Okay, let's see here. Yeah. Okay, apparently according to the YouTube chat, which seems to be behind. Oh, well, the cat's not behind. Yeah, I need to know. The cat won't see if you don't. Okay. The chat's behind, guys. I'm enjoying myself here. I don't know why it's behind, but yeah. I'm gonna try to... Yeah, Joe Rogan is ESTP. Okay. Millennials not shaving. Yeah. ENTP AF. I'm hoping the chat will catch up, but I'm not sure. But you guys are all behind. Okay. Okay. Oh, we got another one from Lucas Martinez. Well, which Michael Jones? Seriously, Michael Jones. Okay. Michael Jones. Chat's not behind. Okay, fine. Chat's not behind then. Okay. It was Michael Jackson. You read it wrong. Added to E. Michael Jones. Okay, I did read it wrong. Thank you for pointing that out, guys. I'm a little tired right now, but that's okay. We can still have fun. E. Michael Jones. Nice. Now we know what we're talking about. Cool. All right, interview with E. Michael Jones. Okay, I'm in. I got this. No, I am not dancing with that. Like, seriously, no.
Understanding on pictures that he makes in his mind, his imagination, his fantasy.
Oh, it's that guy.
And as a result, you end up with things like Homer's Iliad, where basically you have men fighting in front of Troy, and gods are pretty much...
Wow, that guy is abstract AF. Oh my gosh. All right, so let's get our board set up here for Mr. E. Michael Jones. Enjoy my hairy legs while you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah. E. Michael Jones. And you know what? Because this guy like is an interesting fellow, we're going to give him... Oh, dang. Yeah, there we go. Awesome, it worked. E. Michael Jones. He's got him, you know, we got our little unicorn rainbow ink. You know what I'm saying? The unicorn rainbow ink. I'm totally down for this. But yeah, like I put down a point for abstract, and then we're back to kicking ass and taking names. I'm glad to see that the chat is not behind. Cool.
A little bit a higher level, but pretty much involved in the same.
Gosh, look at this guy. Like the guy in the bow tie. I mean, he looks like a carbon clone of Bill Nye the Science Guy. And then the other guy in the glasses is like, wow, man, are you like literally berating me over something that doesn't matter? I mean, I have no idea what's happening.
They get jealous of each other. They get angry. They're like Achilles. They're like an exalted form of Achilles. At a certain point, the Greeks got dissatisfied with this idea. It wasn't going anywhere. We're getting more and more elaborate stories that were leading you farther and farther away from any real understanding of what God was. And
ooh, that's another abstract concept. Okay, but he might be like, I'm thinking a philosopher. I'm thinking he might be a philosopher. And without very little information, I'm gonna compare him. I think we're looking at ESTJ INFP right here as like a possibility. This guy is obviously a history buff, which stereotypically is an introverted sensor, but you know that doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. But the way he's dressing right now, definitely point for SI for how he's dressing. Like, holy smokes, you know what I mean? Like, wow, right? Even I'm like severely put off by his aesthetic. You know, sometimes I'm severely put off by my own aesthetic. Let's be honest. But yeah, like so straight up introverted sensing, and he's doing tons of TE. Like, okay, there's this factoid, and then there's this factoid, and then there's this reference, and there's that reference. This guy like won't stop referencing. He just references over and over and over again.
At a certain point, they decided there was a break. It was made. And the break began with a group of physicists. Physicoi is what they were called. Thales of Miletus in Ionia, which is on the western shore of what is now Turkey, the eastern shore of the Aegean, decided to look at the world and they say, well, it must be made up of something. Let's just talk about what these things are as trying to figure out the ultimate reality of the world that we know. And Thales said it was water, and then Anaxagoras said it was air, and Heraclitus said it was fire. But all of these people had some type of sense of abstraction, but not enough abstraction. And finally...
sense of abstraction, but not enough abstraction. I need to look at another interview. This one's like horrible. I want to get like something else. There we go. Let's do the Salty Bear. I'm sure the Salty Bear has.
So good evening. How are you? Have you had a nice weekend? Did you have a lovely Father's Day?
Which was basically Hollywood starlets who had slept with producers to get the job and felt disgusted at themselves, and then took it out on Harvey Weinstein.
Yes, scapegoated.
You know,
for sure.
They scapegoated him for basically the fact that they had to sleep on the casting couch to get the job.
The thing,
But to get back to, is it Georgia or Alabama?
It was both, actually. I think they both are leading the charge. Yeah. They refused to shoot any movies or anything in Georgia because of this bill, and now Alabama is
Go build Tara on the back lot in Hollywood.
Yeah, you've already had Hollywood.
lady.
Wow, that was actually pretty direct and initiating. Interesting. Very direct and initiating. Okay. It's like, go do this, lady. You know, he basically ordered her in that conversation. And wow, interesting.
So, but I think what we're seeing here is, I think what's going to happen is we're going to go back to a regional solution because the abortion has not succeeded in becoming acceptable. It's never going to happen. You think, as a thought experiment, think, are the people, is the legislature in Georgia proposing a return to chattel slavery? No, they are not doing that because everyone accepts the fact that that was a bad idea, even though we practice.
Everyone accepts the fact that that's a bad idea. Okay, that is a TE statement, but it's also an affiliative statement because he's talking about people that are accepting things, okay? So he may not actually be abstract. I'm just letting you guys know there's a possibility he may not actually be abstract. We may be actually looking at an ESTJ there. He's cognitive transitioning. He seems to be cognitive transition between subconscious and his ego. So we're going to have to kind of see what he does primarily here. So it's still ESTJ versus INFP. I don't think he's informative, though. I really don't. He still seems to have a directive way of doing things since we're, depending on which interview we go through.
We're not going back to it. This is clearly not the case with abortion. This is clearly the overwhelm. I would say the majority of the people of the United States have never accepted abortion. It was imposed on us by the Supreme Court. We didn't vote this in.
Yes.
It was imposed first in states like California and New York by Jews. Bernard Nathanson is the one who said that. He read his testimony. He will give you the inside story about how Jews imposed abortion in New York. Okay, so it's never been accepted. Wow. And I think the Supreme Court is going to have is ready to face the reality, and they're going to go to a regional solution. They're going to return it to the states and say, if you want to live here and you want to ban abortion, you have the power to do that. If
you want to live here, if you want to do that, okay, he was technically being abstract. That was a what-if statement. That was also a TI statement using logic as well. And that was also another NESI statement. So I could be completely wrong. Wow. Let's keep going. I want to get a different interview, though, to see if just to compare what we're seeing here. So let's how to thrive in a culture full of sin. Okay. Let's see what that with interview national churches. Let's see here.
Okay, then good evening. We have here famous Catholic writer, intellectual, and political commentator,
Catholic writer, intellectual.
Michael Jones. It's nice to talk to you again.
Good to see you, Tony. Good to be back in sunny Croatia, on the shores of the Adriatic.
Yeah, it's almost midnight here, so it's not that sunny.
It's like good to be back on the shores of the Adriatic, on this and that. Very TE. That's super TE. That was 2 TE statements back to back. Trying to know his status about how he's important about, like, because he's at this important place, etc.
Okay. What I wanted to talk to you about was basically 2 main subjects. It's let's say the genetics and its impact versus this white identity.
Daniel Dennett. And what all 4 of these men have in common is an allegiance to Darwinism. In other words, Darwinism is the fundamental scientific underpinning of their philosophical worldview, which is atheism. Okay? And what I did was try to...
What just happened? Did I lose my sound there? Oh. Apparently I lost, accidentally exited out of my window as I was moving around again. It's just really uncomfortable sitting on the floor, so I'm trying to adjust things here. Let's get back into YouTube. Talk about Darwinism. Definitely philosopher type, but still seems very direct. I think he might be still an ESTJ. E. Michael Jones. Let's do a debate. Let's see how he is in debate. Very good. Awesome. We have a debate with this guy. Awesome.
This last Sunday, E. Michael Jones and Styx Hexenhammer had a debate moderated by Ethan Ralph on the topic of whether or not dirty videos should be banned. For the most part, it was a disappointingly predictable debate. I have a hard time imagining many people from either side would have been convinced by any of the arguments made. I don't have much to say about Jones, but Styx exhibited some extremely common liberal cliches, and I really feel like they need to be responded to.
Okay.
The main argument isn't who's more moral.
Okay, this is about the debate and not the actual debate. Disappointing. Okay, Dr. Brown discusses anti-Semitism and Michael Jones.
Hey friends, this is Michael Brown, and you are joining us for a very special edition of The Line of Fire. Is the world's #1 gay-friendly city. I've spoken plainly about each other because in the midst of our differences, I want to be as fair as possible. So, Dr. Jones, thanks so much for immediately consenting to our invitation to join us on the air.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure to be here.
So, Dr. Jones, how do you respond to the idea that you are anti-Semitic?
Well, I go back to the origin of the term. The term was created by Wilhelm Marr in 1871 in a book that he wrote about the situation in Germany at that time. Marr was a revolutionary from the revolution of 1848. He felt that the Jews in Hamburg betrayed the revolution. He still had that animus toward Christianity that those revolutionaries had. He needed a new way to talk about Jews.
Yeah, it's still direct initiating outcome. Definitely, that is his interaction style. It's plain as day, direct initiating outcome. And while he seems abstract, I think the abstraction is coming from expert intuition child, which is still optimistic, and it's very easy for any child to come off as abstract while still being concrete. And he seems very systematic for sure, not really interest based at all, and very matter of fact with the systematicness. So. Yeah, he's an ESTJ, definitely. E. Michael Jones is an ESTJ, for sure. He just keeps initiating over and over and over again. So 155, 52. Awesome. Cool. So E. Michael Jones is done. And let's get here. I need to get my little whiteboard doohickey back here. And let's erase all these things. So, awesome. All right, let's see who's next. Okay, so let's delete that message. Okay, and then we're gonna delete the next message. Delete. Awesome. All right, cool. And then we're gonna do Bhagavan Sri Rajneesh next, aka Osho. Okay, so let's do that one. Oh, Kitty, I know you want out. Bhagavan. Okay, let's see. How do you spell that? Shri Rajneesh Osho interview. So apparently this guy is dead. Okay. After Wild Country. Osho, I am a threat. Certainly, okay. I am the rich man's guru. Oh, the Wild Country people. Okay, yeah. Ma Anand Shila. Yeah, okay. Interesting.
People of Western Australia want to know about you, about your people. Could you tell them what sort of a person you are?
I don't know at all. I just live moment to moment. So you cannot confine me into a personality.
So you cannot confine me into a personality. I have to say that's abstract, and I have to say he's doing the Bruce Lee coquette approach with expert intuition. Sounds like he's using a coquette-based seductive style. Hi, kitty. So, let's see.
You cannot define me.
Hi.
You cannot predict me. I don't know even myself what I am going to do tomorrow morning. I am simply as open as the existence and
very abstract. Holy smokes. Super, super abstract. Wow. And very NE. So high NE abstraction. This guy sounds like he is an NP type. So which one is it? Kind of seems also outcome so far. So my guess is likely going to be an INFP. Likely, which is typical for cult leaders these days, especially ones that abuse sexual intimacy and use it as a weapon.
And as indefinable as the existence itself.
As indefinable as the existence itself. That is a very TE statement. He's also talking about his own self-worth there, making himself look good, etc. So it sounds very philosopher, this guy. Very philosopher-oriented.
So people have to figure out whatsoever they want.
Hi, Katie.
I am available. So there are people who love me. There are people who would like to kill me. They have chosen different parts of me.
They have chosen different parts of me, talking about the choices of others. This expert intuition is also abstract as well. Kind of seems a little interest-based, talking about what these people are kind of getting out of these choices.
They have...
Actually, let's move on to the next interview.
You and your religious following are extremely wealthy.
My people are rich. In fact, only the very rich, educated, intelligent, cultured can understand what I am saying.
In fact, only these rich people can only understand what I'm saying. Oh my gosh. Shoot me now with all this NFP depravity. Guy is super outcome, super informative, very responding. So yeah, like there's no point in going further. Like this guy he's an INFP. He's straight up an INFP. Like it's just obvious. He's an INFP. So like straight up. So yeah, this guy's like super abstract, guys. Super abstract.
Beggars cannot come to me. Poor people cannot come to me.
I'm so important because beggars can't come to me. I'm so important because poor people can't come to me. Like, I don't know, but this is as anti-Jesus Christ as you can get. Like this guy right here. Jesus is telling people love your neighbor as yourself. This guy's like, if you're not rich, you're not intelligent enough to understand what it is I'm saying. Thank you, TE inferior. Like, wow. Like, Mr. Depraved AF, go crawl in the dumpster and be lit on fire and thrown down the hill where you belong. Like, seriously, bro. Like I can't stand INFPs who have this insane God complex about them. It's just crazy. The level of entitlement dripping from this guy is like, I mean, really? Dark Triad much? No. No, thank you. No, thank you. Get out. Seriously, get out. All right. So calling that INFP, OSHO, INFP, and that is calling it at 2 hours and 4 minutes. 2:04. Okay, cool. All right, next one up. Okay, Charles Bukowski. Yep, Charles Bukowski. All right, Charles Bukowski. All right, we'll do that next. Charles, I think did we not finish him last time? No, we didn't. Charles Bukowski. Awesome. Someone outbid again. Nice. All right, Charles Bukowski. We'll do Charles Bukowski. All right, cool. Charles Bukowski. Is this another INFP, I wonder? Another one? Who knows? Who knows? Gosh, this is a crazy wire mess down here. Try not to hurt my back while I do this for you folks. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Still on the floor here. Try this again. All right, Charles Bukowski. Let's do this. Gosh, I have a lot of respect for this guy. I listen to one of his poems all the time. It's really great inspiration. Talks about the value of being alone. You can check it out. It's Matthias M. The Mind. Look that up on YouTube. It's an exquisite video. Charles Bukowski interview. Nice. All right. Okay. Okay. Charles Bukowski on life.
Generally speaking, you're free till you're about 4 years old. And then 5 arrives. Then you go to grammar school, and then you start becoming demented and solved and orientated and shoved into areas. You lose what individualism you have. If you have enough, of course, you retain some of it. But most don't have enough, so you become watchers of game shows, and things like that.
Watchers of game shows and things like that. That guy is pragmatic AF. Even according to the Red Pill books by Rollo Tomasi, Charles Bukowski is considered alpha AF by many, and usually probably the avatar of pragmatism, since pragmatism represents the most one of the most alpha traits. You can actually separate every aspect of the type grid in a masculine or a feminine trait. Informative is feminine, direct is masculine, pragmatic is masculine, affiliative is feminine, for example. Concrete is masculine, abstract is feminine, right? Systematic is masculine, interest-based is feminine, right? Initiating is masculine. Responding is feminine. Outcome is masculine. Progression is feminine. All these things go into place. I know, Kitty. You want out? Yeah, you want out, don't you? Well, no, you can't go. You have to stay with me and come over here and let me pet you and earn your way out of the room. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's go back to good old Charles here.
And you work the 8-hour job with almost a feeling of goodness.
Then you work an 8-hour job with almost a feeling of goodness. So that's 2 SE statements back to back. That statement's something I had before. Seems pretty concrete so far. With almost a feeling of goodness. That's TIFE. Sounds like a Templar type so far, guys. If you're saying he's an ESTJ, then he'd probably be a shadow-focused ISTP if it's what your guys are going for.
Like you're doing something. And you get married like marriage is a victory, and you have children like children is a victory. But most things most people do are a total grind. Marriage, birth, children. It's something they have to do because there's nothing else to do. There's no glory in it, there's no steam, there's no fire. It's very, very flat. And the earth is full of them.
Yeah, he's talking about people following the bouncing ball. He's talking about people who lack power. I tell you the truth. Power is the definition of what power is then when you exert power, you have the ability to control your life, to control your life circumstances. It's when Voltaire says, when you are free, a man is free when he chooses to be. This is what Charles Bukowski is constantly talking about. He's the ultimate pragmatist, as a result. Talking about freedom of choice.
You're not afraid about death?
No. In fact, I almost feel good at the approach of death.
Why? You have a nice wife.
All that's okay. But you see, as you live many years, things take on a repeat. Is that ended? Are you ended?
No, it's okay.
Things take on a repeat. You understand? You keep seeing the same thing over and over again. The same substance, the same action, the same reaction. So you get a little...
The same substance, the same action, the same reaction. It's very expert sensing. It's expert sensing observation is what Charles Bukowski is doing. So it's very SENI, for sure. And he is very direct. Very, very direct with his speech. Definitely, for sure, on redirect. Seems responding, and I'm going to say it's likely progression, but let's keep going. I could argue outcome, but definitely seems progression.
A little bit tired of life, so as death comes, you almost say, okay, baby, it's time, it's good. So I know I have very little fear of death. In fact, I almost welcome it.
Did you ever read Malcolm Lowry's Under the Volcano?
Yeah, I did, and I yawned myself to shit.
Why?
Why? Because, like any other writer, there's no pace, there's no quickness in his lines. There's no life, there's no sunlight. When you write, your words must go like this. Bim, 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 bim. Each line must be full of a delicious little juice, flavor. They must be full of power. They must make you like to turn a page. Bim, bim, bim. What these guys do, they say, well, in blah, 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 da, 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 there was a porch chair. The flies were walking around. You see, they're too leisurely. They're setting up the scene for the grand emotion, and when they get to the grand emotion, there isn't any.
Talking about the grand emotion, expert feeling as well as a result of that. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to type Charles Bukowski. It's one of my most favorite people and one of the men that I respect the most. It's exquisite, and it's very interesting. He was being systematic in that section, though. He's talking about like the system of writing that would be best in that particular situation. But he was also talking about like what people get out of that as well through inference, which is an interest-based approach. So definitely still comes off as a total SP, very concrete, very pragmatic, and he's made multiple pragmatic statements, even like cussing during the interview. And while he seems concrete, it seems to be like he can almost abstract a little bit with the other side of his mind because he's so old and he's so well integrated. But it still is concrete, basically. The entire first interview is concreteness. So let's keep going just slightly.
This is a different age. It's the atomic age. Each line must have its own power, its own feeling, its own juice, its own flavor. Writing must never be boring. It must not bore the reader, the writer. It must not bore anybody. You have to have juice in each line, don't you see? You don't believe me, but I'm trying to tell you.
It's like extroverted sensing parent, and he's just SE parenting this guy over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Well, then where's the affiliative, guys? Where's the affiliative? If this guy is, and he is TJ, where's the affiliative? You know? Come on. Unless you guys are in the past right now. Are you guys on Charles Bukowski? It seems like you guys are still on. I'm probably a little ahead of you guys right now, so not sure. We'll see. Yeah, I misspelled ESDJ. Okay, sorry. The chat seems to be behind again. Okay.
I get so... Writers put me to sleep. They always did. They always will. Each line must be an entity of...
Yeah, Charles Bukowski's trying to teach this guy something as well. He's teaching. That's very typical for like a Templar type to do, you know, because he's definitely a Templar type. Templar teaching this guy, very direct, but he's very pragmatic. He's not affiliative, but he is responding. He's staying on topic. So anyway, Charles Bukowski is definitely an ISTP. So we're going to move on to the next one. So ISTP, and this is at 2 hours and 16 minutes. 2:16:12. Awesome. Good old Charles Bukowski. And then we're going to be moving in. Let's see here. Awesome. Okay. Okay. All right. Gonna move on to somebody else. Let's get that here. Let's get that here. All right, cool. And all right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, Charles Bukowski. Delete, and then we're gonna go back to here. Charles Bukowski. Delete. Yes. Delete. Okay, yeah. Dave Superpowers. Alright, so who's next up? Let's see here. We have Charlie XCX, $30. Bret Weinstein, $6. Bret Weinstein. Okay, that means Bret Weinstein is top. Okay, cool. Bret Weinstein is top. Alright, Bret Weinstein is next. Let's do this. Okay. I only got about 30 minutes left in the show, guys, just so you guys know. So we're going to close Super Chats. Super Chats are closed right now, okay? Gosh, dang. It's like crazy. Okay. Let's try to get a little bit less of that being an INTJ shadow right now like a moron. I shouldn't do that. Alright, I'll just focus on this thing here. Okay, so what's next? Bret Weinstein. Bret Weinstein. Interview. Okay. Good old Bret Weinstein. Your question answers. Bret and Heather, 29th Dark Horse podcast. Bret Weinstein. Racist conspiracy. Racial turmoil. Evergreen State College. Bret Weinstein, the Joe Rogan Experience. All right, he's got 2 episodes of Bret Weinstein. Okay, do that. Let's check this out. Good old Joe Rogan.
All right, we're live. Bret, first of all, thanks for doing this.
Okay. So...
meet with a student who is important to me, and neither of our racial backgrounds is primary in our relationship. We know each other as people, and that's really how I would like to see all of us interacting on campus. We all have our backgrounds, they matter to us, but it cannot become the primary interface between us.
Let me stop you here, and let me try
cannot
to understand.
become the primary interface between us. Okay, so this guy Bret Weinstein kind of seems like an SI user, as near as I could tell. Talk about his experiences that he had with another student. Okay, so we're gonna give him the flamboyant rainbow color, because why not? Why not give him the flamboyant rainbow color? So good old Bret Weinstein. And flamboyant rainbow color, and then he's an introverted sensor, kind of seems a little affiliative. He may be pragmatic, we'll see, but he made an affiliative statement there, and introverted sensing. So let's see how this goes.
Understand what the reaction was, because you rightly said that you think there's a huge problem with asking people to not show up simply based on their color of their skin.
Exactly.
And what was the argument against that? Like when you said that, and I read your letter, and your letter didn't sound racist at all. It sounded very well thought out. It made a very good point, but the response, the inflammatory response to your letter was so disturbing and shocking. Was there anyone who had reasonable debate with you about this? Was there anyone who said...
Between the public discussion and the private discussion. Privately, I had very interesting discussions with many people. That was not absent. But if you were to look in on the discussion at the public level, it looked as if there was consensus united against me.
Now, when you say public and private, are the same people making contradictory statements in public that are commiserating with you in private, or is it just different people?
A few of them do that. That actually is the thing I find most surprising, is that sometimes people will privately say one thing to you and then publicly do another. Mostly it's different people. And I should say the people who have talked...
Mostly it's different people. Okay. So he's being a matter of fact. He said a TI statement there. So far he's looking like a crusader, but I'm not entirely sure. But let's keep going.
Talked to me privately and expressed concerns are actually quite a diverse group. So it's not as if white folks are disturbed by this and people of color are united. It's not at all like that. But part of the hidden story here is that in order to advance certain policy proposals, it has to appear that the community is united behind them, and that anybody who stands against them is standing against them for illegitimate reasons. So that means that the number of people who are willing to express any sort of nuance about what's taking place has to be small, and they have to be dismissible. So what they...
Okay, he's very systematic. He's talking about the system. He also made another affiliative approach. He's talking about the system of communication between people, and he's trying to state, like, this is the best way that we can do this. We can do this in this way. We can do it in that way. But definitely an SJ for sure. I just don't know which SJ this guy is. Not sure. I mean, it'd be nice if I could argue ISFJ, but not sure. We'll keep going. Maybe an ISTJ even.
Is they called me a racist, which is ironic because I'm an anti-racist. I've gone out of my way to, first of all, study the question of why racism occurs, and I believe been pretty courageous in fighting against it where I've run into it.
Okay, I believe I've been very courageous fighting against racism anytime I run into it. Again, that's a very effy statement. He's asking people, or he's asking Joe Rogan essentially for a form of recognition. He's asking for recognition, and he needs that recognition, right? So this is Bret Weinstein looking for recognition, etc. So yeah, a very FE statement. Still definitely SI. He keeps sharing his own experience. He's definitely a crusader type, hardcore. Definitely a crusader. And we know that he's definitely an affiliative, systematic approach. This guy is not pragmatic, as near as we can tell. So he is either an ESFJ or he is an ISFJ. And if we're going to compare him to the previous ESFJ we had earlier tonight on the show, before everything got like, freaking crazy around here, I'm leaning more towards ISFJ at this point. I would like to verify that with informative responding outcome. That being said, like, he does seem very outcome focused. So I'll put a point there, but let's keep going just in case. In fact, let's do the different.
If anybody sounded the alarm, that all.
And the way you do that is you bring them on as graduate students, and you pay them an appalling wage. You claim that they are not actually workers, that they are students, and they do most of the teaching, and they do a lot of the work of the university for incredibly low amounts of money. They live under poor conditions, and increasingly they have to come from abroad, where they are in some sense getting a deal that still makes sense. But this means that we overproduce PhDs. We give people degrees instead of money.
This means that we overproduce PhDs. We give people degrees, we give people money. This guy is like a clone of Julian Assange. He's affiliated with what he's doing. He thinks he's doing the right thing. He's talking about the system of PhD production in this case, very systematic, etc. But there's no abstraction there. It's really, really concrete from that approach. And again, he's still talking about the outcomes consistently. He's not talking about the entire journey. It's more about the outcomes. And he's being very informative as well. So based on that, Bret Weinstein is definitely an ISFJ. Like, just straight up, this guy's an ISFJ. There's no reason to like continue on this guy. So Bret Weinstein, ISFJ, and this is, let's mark this at, let's move this down, let's bring this up, 223.30, okay, 223.30, awesome, okay, cool. So who's next? Let's see here. Delete. Bret Weinstein, and then Bret Weinstein. All right, cool. And who's next? Let's see here. So we got Ben Higgins at 30, 20, 20, 20. Adding to Charlie, XCX 30, 30. Okay, 30. All right, 30, 30, 36. 36 is Misha Mansour. Misha Mansour. Okay, Misha Mansour. Okay. Misha Mansour. Interview. Hi. I'm almost finished. Okay, interview with guitar Misha Mansour. Okay, the captain meets Misha Mansour. Okay, cool. This looks good. Misha Mansour of Periphery. Okay, cool.
It's literally, I just.
Do you mind if I'm just going to do that when we're talking?
No, yeah, it's totally fine. So I literally just.
What's the downside of your picking technique then? Is it
alt picking is very difficult. Yeah, like I'd say sort of precision becomes very difficult. I always found I had a lot of trouble with alt picking stuff or any. Actually, it now that I've been kind of experimenting with what riffs work better.
Okay, this guy's movement. This guy's movement AF. Definitely movement. So let's get this Misha Mansour done. Okay, so Misha Mansour, so he's progression for sure. Definitely seems extroverted sensing as well. Talking about the shared experience of the pick.
Like a lot of Mark and Jake's riffs, the other guitarists in the band who play with.
He's talking about other people, a lot of these other people's riffs, etc. Okay, again, that's extroverted sensing. Talking about other people, and visually, he looks like an INTJ.
Normal technique. I see how their riffs make a bit more sense. Find it's easier to sort of like aim.
I see how their riffs make a little bit more sense. Okay, fair enough. Again, that's extroverted sensing. And then he's being really direct, it seems, as well with that. Seeing what other people are doing, very systematic. He's going through his system of how to go through music, etc. So systematic as well. Oops, hit the wrong button.
Aim at strings with this technique, and it actually requires a lot less motion.
Yeah,
I get why this is proper technique now, but like,
but it doesn't sound. It
sounds different.
It sounds different. I love the other problem I have as well is I think typically if I'm going to just sort
stop
of
talking.
Absolutely. I mean, this is 25 and a half, but on the 7 strings 26 and a half, and that's one of the huge advantages of doing that is that I found that I would get a lot less of that settling effect, if you want to call it that. On the low string, we're tuned to drop A flats. That's pretty low. Wow. And that's 64 on there, which I guess
you could go heavier than that.
You could go heavier. It's relatively light, but I not necessarily
could go heavier than that. Again, expert sensing. This SE is just out there. It's just not very high, but it's out there. He even admitted kind of being a little insecure with his expert sensing, so I'm kind of getting even closer and closer to SE inferior as a possibility. He's still talking about his journey of music, etc., and how he's going through his process. Very systematic, very progression. So direct responding progression. Okay, so that automatically means he's a finisher type. So if he's finisher type, he's an SE user. That means he's ISTP, or he is INTJ, or he is INFJ. And if he's systematic, then he's automatically an INTJ by default. So we're going to look at the other interview right now, but so far seems INTJ is it for this guy. So let's move on to the next one here.
What's up, everyone? I'm here at NAM talking to
Swede who's showing me around his cold city, and you were really nice. I think we went out for Thai food.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's right.
And
yeah.
I was probably a little bit starstruck, to be honest.
Really?
Well, yeah, I was probably not really. I don't know.
There's so Swedish people. Are like distant.
We are.
Right?
Yeah.
So and I can't ever tell. You're impossible to read.
Distant.
So I had no idea. I thought you were just being like
That's
really
TE.
Swedish.
Okay.
Right? But you know what I'm saying? Like.
I just thought you were being really, really Swedish. Okay, that's a TE stereotype again. So again, that proves that he's a wayfarer. Expert thinking right there, because it's the labels that he's using. He's still direct, still progression, etc. So let's keep going. This Effie trickster is
Like they're quiet, right?
I know.
And reserved.
Yes.
Until you drink. And
Yes.
then it all comes like flying out. Like they're the craziest, the craziest people. It's like this weird dichotomy of just like very, very quiet, like.
Weird dichotomy of very, very quiet. Okay, that was an abstract statement. That was pretty cool. Going that way. Okay, so yeah, he's an INTJ. Like, there's just no rhyme or reason. Okay, so 230, 36. 230, 36. INTJ at 230, 36. Awesome. All right, so who's next? And this is going to be my last one I'm going to have to do. So let's see here. Don't forget, folks, like, just because your super chats weren't outbid, you can stack on them the following week, etc. New bids have priority over old bids, and we really only go as far back as the previous time. So just keep that in mind, usually. So, but just remember, if you just keep stacking them, it's fine. It keeps your little bids alive if you want, so it's no big deal. Okay, so next, let's see. So 36, 36, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. Okay, everyone's 30. $10. Add to Dave Superpowers, which is a 40. Okay, so Dave Superpowers is our final one tonight. Awesome. All right, cool. Dave Superpowers interview. On my last one. So, okay. All right. Ooh, here we go. Dave Superpowers interview about ENFP success. Nice. And cool. Let's see. Awesome. Dave Superpowers chat from Love Lou. Cool. Let's do that.
Hey guys, my name is Kendrick, and welcome to the ENFP Male.
No, please stop. Are you an ENFP?
Hey,
oh, no, I got
welcome to my
sucked into
channel.
this video.
So
No,
today,
stop.
if you've been on my channel at all, you've seen that there's been some questions.
Oh, if you've been on my channel at all, you've seen extroverted sensing, right? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, this guy, is Kendrick an ENFP? Let's find out, guys. Let's find out.
Channel. What we're going to do in this video series is we're going to cover topics that involves being an ENFP male. Whether that be how our functions work, what our saviors and demons are. We're also going to cover personal development, business, and more.
This video is so heavily edited. Are you sure you're an ENFP, bro?
Most important of all,
sure?
how to achieve the one thing that we all really want, which is freedom. Now, in this first video...
Wait a minute. The ENFP really wants freedom? No. It's the ENFP's job to give other people freedom of choice. What are you doing? No, stop. Oh, gosh, my eyes
I got
hurt.
a chance to interview Dave Superpowers. And if you don't know who he is...
That's pretty cool. I'd like to interview him.
He has a...
Just not today or anytime soon. More like face to
channel
face.
called Dave Superpowers, where he talks about Myers-Briggs personality typing system, but he has Dave Superpowers himself.
Hey.
So, awesome.
Gosh, Kendrick is super informative and definitely initiating movements. He may be an ENFP, but if it's really freedom, he might be an ESFP, bro, but I don't know
Can
yet.
you, man?
Yeah, you too, man.
Yeah. Just to add some context to this, I first started watching Dave Superpowers' YouTube channel back when I first moved out, when I only had enough money to pay 1 month's worth of rent.
So he's providing context. So again, informative. So Kendrick is informative initiating movement. That's
and
cool.
I didn't have a job, and at that point in time, I didn't know what to do with my life.
Good old days.
And at that point in time, I didn't know what to do with my life. Okay, that sounds like introverted intuition inferior or introverted sensing inferior. So ESFJ is like automatically out. This guy also seems to be an FITE user for Mr. Kendrick. So it's between ENFP or ESFP for me currently. Let's keep going.
Yeah, it was a real struggle, and even though I suffered, I learned a lot watching his videos, and I got a chance to learn how to use FI and TE, which back then I had no clue what they even were, because all I was using is probably NE, which is pretty sad, just using one function. Long story short, after several years, his channel is now back, and I started watching it again, but now coming from a perspective where I'm a more developed person as a result of going through a lot of hardship. And now I'm just going to ask him a bunch of questions that could help fellow ENFPs like me who have always been struggling and have no idea what to do.
I gotta be honest with you guys. Kendrick seems really ESFP to me so far, but I'll keep trying to verify.
Do with our life. So my first question to you, Dave, is one of the biggest problems we ENFPs have is we always feel stuck. Like we can't do something long enough.
Yeah.
Where we build something.
Whoa, spider. Hello. Okay. Dang. Yeah, it's a little big. He went the other direction, and he was fast. Okay, I got my feet in the right direction, so if he comes close, I'm going to crush him. Okay. Little spider combat going on. Yeah, sure, if you hand me a shoe. I got a shoe, I could just take it off.
It's so easy for us to get so bored, and we do something else. And we end up from one dead job to the next.
Yeah.
And we just don't build anything meaningful. And as a result, we end up feeling stuck instead of free, which is what we really want. We want to be free to do the thing.
We want to be stuck. We're usually stuck instead of free, and we really want to be free. Okay, stop. You sound like an ESFP, bro. Like, talk about freedom as much as that. Like, seriously, Kendrick, please verify yourself. Okay, bro? I mean, I just be honest. Like, just double check. That's all I'm asking, bro. Just double check. Like, no, ENFPs want to be comfortable, dude. If you want freedom and freedom of choice, man, that's the ESFP way, man. Come on.
The things that we want with our life, but we can't be free if we haven't built anything meaningful, make enough income, and so what would you say to people who are stuck?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, what we've seen work is here's an analogy, because I know ENFPs like analogies.
Sure.
It's kind of like when you're a little kid and you're afraid of somebody breaking into your house because you're afraid of Santa Claus.
Yeah.
You really lose that fear a lot when you realize Santa Claus is not real. So there's still other things you got to deal with, but once you know the truth of the situation, the fear starts to go down dramatically. So one part of the things that has really been the truth for...
Gosh, I've always liked Dave. Dave's a cool guy. Probably because like we're super compatible and whatnot. But yeah. All right, so let's go down here. Doing this here. All right, so we're gonna give the Daveness his blueness because blue is cool, and the Daveness as soon as the thing decides to like actually like work. Dave is direct, and he is progression, and he is responding so far. Dave Powers. Nice. Okay, so let's get that here. Okay, cool. And then we'll go forward.
For us is realizing that these functions are not real. Like we'll believe in them. The ENFP will believe in NE like a kid will believe in Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And so what I mean by that is like a person will feel like I have to do more options. I have to look here. I have to look there because my whole body gets flooded with all these happy hormones when I go and play the more options game.
My whole body gets filled with these happy hormones. Whoa, was that another spider? No, it wasn't. Okay. Okay, cool. So that was an abstract statement by Dave. Is also very progression as well. And then definitely experted sensing. So he's talking about the raw basic reality mechanics. It's experted sensing like straight up. So NISE for sure. So let's keep going. And
game and I give into the NE. But really seeing this stuff at scale, realizing, oh, wait a minute, that is just kind of like almost like an imbalance that I'm born with. And then it's a choice to give into the distractions or the choice to give into eating the junk food or any one of these examples you can give. And knowing that, and
it's you doing this and you doing that. And this is any examples that you can give. That's experted thinking. He's also experted thinking, talking about the functions that way. Additional abstract statement is very systematic, following a system consistently, which is also pretty awesome. So let's keep going. I'm actually going to exit out of this interview and go somewhere else.
And you were so, I guess like one of my insecurities is not looking like I know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
So before like I talked to anybody about it, like I was doing all of my research and everything, and then I saw your videos and you always sounded like so certain about everything that you'd say.
Sure.
Like, guys, you need to stop doing this. Guys, you need, oh my gosh. And like you would just, insert expletive here, like whatever. And it's just like, wow, you know what? I think this guy is really telling me it's very important to know about my cognitive functions. And so from there, I started diving a lot more into it. I got it really deep into like personality hacker stuff. And yeah, you were literally the first stepping stone. So
that's great, man. That's great. It's been a lot of years, That's really great, dude.
Absolutely, man. So I want you to just have the opportunity real quick to like, I think I just kind of like told everyone like what I pretty much.
Sales are going to go down. And sure enough, you watch them go down, and then you do everything backwards, to yourself, right? And the sales go back up, So it was a lot of ups, and that just took a lot of time to really kind of emotionally process that and logically process that. So then we moved into going, okay, could we track this in some way, shape, or form? And we came up with the thing of where we'd have two, me and Shan in separate rooms, and like, okay, let's type this person. Mm-hmm. And we sure enough saw that most of the time we could not agree on a type. And a lot of times when we did, it was very random, or sometimes it's like we both really knew the person.
We would do this. We'd really know the person, etc. Okay, that was a TE statement. Him and Shan constantly, he's remembering things through her eyes. He's still very direct. He's very progression, and he's talking about his system of typing right now and how to type somebody.
That's when we would kind of get hits more. But if we were kind of guessing or going off of your biases, we would miss and stuff. So we didn't put our full focus into it. We just kind of went, all right, could we start to define the terms more? What does science say to do? Define the terms more, try and play the scientific method. And we were just kind of messing around with that, and then finally started to get a little bit more traction and started to find that there was more than 6.
we were talking about, doing the scientific method, and then we just started seeing additional traction, etc. Again, it's a very systematic approach as well. Also kind of pragmatic, because he's open to the new ideas that he's being presented, but he's following a very extroverted thinking approach with his belief systems. He's very responsible about it. And again, the shared experience he's having with Shan at the same time. So it's extroverted sensing.
16, okay? Which everybody's been theorizing for years, that there's types within types. I mean, of course, there's not just 16 types out there.
Yeah.
So
he's right. There are types within types. There is subtypes, but really it's basically the position of the cognitive function based on cognitive transition, and you just multiply it out. So yeah, the subtypes do exist. Do they exist in the way that he's presenting? Not necessarily, but there's absolutely something to his theory. Absolutely. Like, for example, like when we see, like, from a cognitive transition standpoint, obviously there's 4 sides of the mind, then you have your cognitive gateways, and then you can adjust things from there. But then, you look at it this way, like when you're cognitive transition, you still have 16 functions. So it's 16 times 4 different functions in different ways. Not only that, you have to consider if the parent functions, each of the 4 sides of mind, if they're developed, and then how that can actually adjust things and put different slants. And there's also cognitive focus as well that you have to adjust to as well, which causes you to, like, consider, like, all these different possibilities. The point is that I think Dave Superpowers approaches, subtype theory from a point of statics and not so much dynamics. The closest he gets to dynamics is cognitive looping with his jumper theory, which is an excellent way to explain, like, underdeveloped parent function, essentially, which I really enjoy it. I enjoy his abstract approach about it. Do I maintain it's the truth? I don't. But I think it's a necessary stepping stone in terms of the chain of custody for us to come to a better understanding of how functions works. And I think it's absolutely fascinating what he's been able to pull off so far. It's pretty awesome.
Once we're able to kind of track that, we would see the jumpers. Some people were, their first 2 functions were their favorite functions, and other people is their first and their third.
We see the jumpers. We see this. We see that. Extroverted sensing. We see. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Anyway, Dave Superpowers, folks, he's an INTJ. So, yeah, there you have it. Dave Powers, he is an INTJ, straight up. And that is at 2:45:05. Okay, Control C. Okay, and I'm going to take that. And I'm going to exit out of that. Cool. Awesome. And cool. Awesome. Now I can give myself some, like, actual CPU back to my machine. So anyway, guys, I know you all are, like, behind right now with the chat and whatnot, and I'm actually really ahead of you guys right now with the stream, but thank you all for being here, guys. Thank you for putting up with a lower quality stream. I know I'm traveling right now. I just didn't have my systems together, my process together to figure this out, but I got it now, so that's cool. We shouldn't have this problem anymore now that I kind of, like, understand how all this works, etc. So thank you all for your patience. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed my seeing some aspects of my life, for sure. Also, Carol Baskin's an ENFJ. Just gotta, like, be all honest with you folks about that and whatnot. So, but anyway, so with that being said, folks, you all have, it's fine. You derailed the chat that you typed Batman. It's all good, bro. I mean, everyone's behind, so it's fine. But anyway, I gotta go to bed. My family's waiting to get into their bedroom here, and we're taking so much time. So with that being said, folks, thank you all for everything, and thank you for your patience. You all have a good night.